Hello friends, on August 17th, 2021, Echelon Gamers released this video pertaining to the Nexus Mod website and their new policy of not allowing modders to delete their own work. And UE posed a few questions in his own words.
Are your mods really yours? When does your code stop being your code and become community code?
Now I will answer these questions and give a different point of view. This video will have facts, intrigue, Mickey Mouse, a plot twist, and I'll be telling the rest of the story. Let's do this. Okay, first things first, full disclosure. Some of you may know that I built Echelon Gamers' gaming rig for him in March of 2020, and there is a video somewhere on my channel, which admittedly the editing sucks on it, but that's a whole story in itself. It doesn't really pertain to this video, but it is why you hear UE plug my channel,
another gaming YouTuber to check out,
for me doing him a solid. I have nothing but respect for Echelon and the work and content he creates. To me, he seems to be the last bastion of journalistic integrity we have, especially on YouTube. I have called out a few other YouTubers for their poor takes on certain topics, but this is not one of those videos. So when UE put up his video and I didn't agree with part of it and thought he was missing the rest of the story, I called him up on the phone. His video to me came off as anti-consumer, which I know is wrong because he's the most pro-consumer advocate I know. Now I will be playing a lot of his video, that way there's no context loss in what he was trying to say, but I will be adding in my own thoughts as we go through the video. But if you're going to enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future Axial GT content. With that out of the way, let's get started. Now that we have full disclosure out of the way, the best place to start this story is at the beginning.
Are your mods really yours? To best explain what that even means, we have to define mods and detail what they are within the context of gaming. Mods in gaming are community-made alterations of a video game that can be downloaded, installed, and used by other community members. Some of the best actual content in the entire world is based on community mods. And to really put that in perspective, we have to look at a game like Skyrim. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is effectively a pillar of the entire gaming world and has been for nearly 10 years. Not because its base version is some kind of lone-standing monolith in the world of technical innovation, but because community modding has taken this bare-bones framework and turned it into something fantastic. Civil War mods, entire new regions, new quests, items, and really anything you can think of. You can turn dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine or have clowns running around as the bandits because, truly, anything is possible. Obviously, the most popular mods center on atmospheric and lore-abiding updates, making the game HD, adding new textures, or animations, or skills, or metric balancing.
And time out. This is where Upper Echelon and I actually agree. The Elder Scrolls series and the Fallout series, made by Bethesda, is a very good example. I've actually modded all these games, and have clocked in over 10,000 hours playing Elder Scrolls and Fallout, between Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4. But I do need to add in here, not only do modders add extra content to the game, but they also fix what Bethesda is too incompetent to fix. That's why every game that I previously mentioned, there is an unofficial patch for it, fixing broken quests, glitches, crashes that Bethesda was too incompetent or lazy to fix. And not only are there mods to add atmosphere and quests and HD graphics, there's also complete overhauls, where it's actually not like Skyrim anymore. We have Enderal, Forgotten Stories, which is a mod based on the Skyrim Special Edition. It's a complete game all in itself, and can be had on Steam. Let's continue.
Are your mods really yours? The immediate answer is probably yes. If you create custom code that modifies how a game runs and let other people use it to improve their own experience, it's still yours. Enter Nexus Mods. Nexus Mods is probably one of the best known modding platforms in the world, where you can download and install gaming mods for well over 1,000 games, I believe. Well, in early July of 2021, Nexus Mods announced that they were implementing a new policy where modders could no longer delete their own files. Once uploaded, they could merely archive them, but never delete the code that they submitted to the site. And this created a rush, a fairly big rush, by certain well-known player contributors to delete all of their content from the platform before the deadline, that deadline being August 5th. Why would they do this? Well, to explain that, we have to look at a seemingly unrelated but very critical 2-hour debacle that happened in Oakland, California during 2016. In Oakland, California, 2016, a man with a name I definitely cannot pronounce broke the internet with 11 lines of code. Why and how? Because that code was used as a building block for hundreds, thousands, probably millions of additional programs and pieces of software, so that once deleted, those additional pieces of software started to fail as well. Put simply, all programs are built on other programs. It's a giant house of cards in a way, and when you take away one tiny little piece, the wrong piece, it can start a cascade failure that has far-reaching and very unpredictable effects. These simple 11 lines of code started to break a lot of things, and within 2 hours they were unpublished to protect the functionality of half the internet. The reason they got deleted is because the author had decided that he had total agency over his own creation, and thus the unequivocal right to delete it.
Okay, I do realize that UE is using this 11 lines of code as an analogy to give you a premise of how mods are built on top of other mods. But yes, for me, it's kind of a bad analogy. Now, before I begin this next section, I will state I am not an attorney. I'm not offering legal advice. This is just a tech guy and his interpretation of the law. So enter Mickey Mouse. I bet you wondered how Mickey Mouse played into this. Mickey Mouse debuted in 1928, but he really wasn't called Mickey Mouse, it was Steamboat Willie, created by Walt Disney, and Walt Disney owned the rights. This is where we get into copyright law, especially the part containing the exclusive rights to creative works. In 1928, copyright law stated that Mickey Mouse belonged to Disney for 56 years. But when it got close to the time being up for the copyright of Mickey Mouse, Disney lobbied Congress to change the law. And we all know what lobbyists are. That's the government's version of legalized bribery. Now, you can't get away with that in any other profession in the United States, except government. Just like when this lady was picked up for a DUI and offered to give the police officer a Hummer to let her go, and she was charged with bribery. Now, if she had worked in government, all she would have had to have said is that she was lobbying for her release, and that would have made it legal. But anyway, Disney lobbied Congress, and they relented, and they passed the Copyright Act in 1976. And it was extended to 75 years of copyright protection for Mickey Mouse. And it extended the copyright of all creative works, but that was set to expire in 2003. So Disney, lobbying again, and Congress, relenting again, passed the Copyright Term Extension Act of 1998, extending it to 95 years. So as it stands, Mickey Mouse, namely Steamboat Willie, is set to enter public domain in 2024. So when UE goes on to talk about the guys whose name he cannot pronounce, about the original code that he wrote, and no, I cannot pronounce it either, it's a bad analogy when it pertains to mods. A better analogy would have been Jenga, mods built on top of other mods. You pull one out, the whole thing collapses. Now I promised you a plot twist, and here it comes. Upper Echelon's analogy of coding is frivolous, just like my analogy of Mickey Mouse, because those are original works and do not pertain to mods. And here's your plot twist. The end user license agreement for the test construction set, where most of the mods are made. You see, technically, Bethesda owns all mods that are created. Modders are modding their original work. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm against modders. I support them wholeheartedly, but this technically is what it is. I'll go ahead and let UE finish because he does an excellent job of explaining the Nexus Mods drama. But then I will tell the rest of the story and the part that he left out, and it's a very important part.
That's kind of where the new Nexus mod policy comes into play, because eliminating a modder's ability to delete their own creation protects against this kind of cascade failure. In this new system, archiving a mod does not actually delete anything, it just hides it from individual download. If it's in a collection, for example, bundled together to use with other mods as a link in the chain for different content, it can still be actively used and referenced. If modders can no longer delete what they upload, is it actually theirs? What if there is a security flaw in the mod? What if there is broken code? What if, for some other reason entirely, like privacy, a modder wishes to take the thing they created down, and there are a multitude of these reasons? When does your code stop being your code because to continue treating it as yours and deleting it would cause so much relative harm it can't be allowed? To make this clear, I don't actually have an answer. The debate over this new Nexus mod policy update was and is rather fierce. The survey they put out internally, which returned nearly 2,000 results, I believe, showcased that only about 8 to 9% of modders viewed the general idea in a negative light. Though, obviously you have to take this with a grain of salt because it wasn't actually done after they had a full comprehensive look at what the policy would be, right? So it was kind of like a blind survey almost. But when refining the question in their own survey, over 15% said they had no interest at all in creating mod packs that other users could use, and nearly 20% said that they had, in general, a negative impression of the term mod pack.
I do want to add something in here real quick. Yes, he's right. It's a blind survey. And I really do not think that modders would have answered the questions the way they did if they knew what was actually coming, for reasons that I'll make clear at the end of the video.
If you look at it from an absolute numbers perspective, this change will certainly help more people than it harms. But balancing that kind of goal with the knowledge that you absolutely are infringing upon someone's agency over the product or code they themselves crafted, it's not an easy question. Nexus Mods hasn't destroyed modding or stolen the rights to the community's work, but what they have done is taken a single step down a path where the benefit of the many outweighs the agency and ownership of the few. And I can completely understand why a certain set of modders will be, and have been, greatly frustrated by this change. Inversely, I can understand why many in the community will feel that this merely provides added security and dependability to the platform for future mods. Either way, someone will be unhappy.
Okay, first thing I have to say is I wholeheartedly support modders, and I do think they should be able to delete the mods that they upload, because they did create them. But I really don't think that's the biggest point of contention between modders and Nexus Mods. One of the big points of contention with Modpacks is I believe is the donation page. Let me show you what I mean. When you download a mod from Nexus Mods, you go in, you search for the mod you want, you find it, you're led to this page. It also has an option to donate to the mod author. Whether you do or not, that's up to you, but the option is available. Now, if you download a mod pack, nobody ever sees this page. And as for the case of like Skyrim and the other Elder Scrolls games and Fallout games, Bethesda does allow donations, because you're actually not buying the mod, you're donating to the mod author. One of those gray areas. But if you download a mod pack, which is 10, 15, 20, sometimes hundreds of mods inside the mod pack, you will never see the donation page for each individual mod that was put in the pack. Now, Nexus Mods does have what they call a donation pool that even Nexus Mods themselves have donated to. They've claimed to have donated $750,000 to the donation pool, and that's divided among the mod authors. Not equally. It depends on how many unique downloads you have, but $750,000 divided by how many years they've been doing the donation pool, divided again upon how many mod authors there are, doesn't equal a whole lot. And Nexus Mods does have lofty goals of trying to give away $1 million every year to mod authors, considering it's never happened. And here's the other thing where modders feel screwed, and they have every right to be. Nexus Mods is making money off the backs of modders' work. To enjoy mod packs how they are intended, like a one-click install, you have to have Nexus Mods premium membership to get access to premium servers and the one-click install for mod packs. And thanks to this image from Juicehead, it shows the increased price that Nexus Mods is now charging. So the optics of this look very bad. The 50-foot view is modders are no longer going to be donated to, because nobody sees their donation page, and Nexus Mods is set to have a financial windfall. They used to have a lifetime premium membership, but they have done away with that. Now it's only monthly or annually. Now I know it costs money to run websites, and the storage involved with all the mods, and the bandwidth needed for everybody to download has got to be huge, but not that huge. So no, I don't blame modders for removing their mods after this fiasco went down, because it looks like they're getting screwed. But that's just my opinion. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. And I'm sure there'll be more to add to this as time goes along. But don't forget to like and subscribe for future Axial GT content. I really do appreciate you watching. And links to my Twitter and Discord are in the description below. But until next time, my friends, I am out of here. You all have a good one.